All right, if you feel like you're at a breaking point with a boss, stay tuned. Psychologist Laura Hambly shares strategies from her new book, I Wish I'd Quit Sooner. Many of you have dealt with frustrating bosses, but how do you know when it's normal and when it's toxic?
All right, organizational psychologist Dr. Laura Hambly is here with her new book. Here it is right here, I Wish I'd Quit Sooner. It is packed with tools to spot bad workplaces and make your next move with confidence. It's good to see you this morning, and welcome to the morning show.
Thanks for having me.
I was just asking you off camera, is Friday a good day to quit?
It's a great day to quit,
Okay.
especially if it's a toxic boss. You can celebrate.
True. That's right. All right. Well, let's start right there, because do you have a personal connection to this topic?
I do. So I run a company called Canada Career Counseling. We see Canadians across the country who are, changing careers, figuring out careers, and we've seen way too many cases of toxic bosses. I've had two myself in my own career, but I've seen the suffering it causes for thousands of Canadians.
And you've kind of created a checklist of bosses, right, to go through?
We've done research across North America for the last couple of years and looked at hundreds of behaviors of these bad bosses, and they're across all industries. So the 8 personas of a toxic boss in the book is how they go about doing the harm.
Because you got to also be careful that you don't, you could just have a tough boss, right?
Carolyn, you're spot on. There's a big difference between a difficult boss and a toxic boss. You can actually learn to work with a difficult boss. They won't derail your career, and they won't harm your mental health and your physical health, whereas a toxic boss will do all of that.
Okay.
All right. And you also talk about, in the book, about having a GR date, and that stands for good riddance. You need a good riddance date?
Yes. Take back control of your career, get in the driver's seat, and set a good riddance date for when you're going to get out of there. That's why I have a cage on my book. People feel trapped, and it's usually financial, but the grass can be much greener if you can get in that driver's seat.
I wouldn't mind bringing back that checklist. We had it up on the screen for a moment. I wouldn't mind taking a look at that again. If you could just walk us through some of those points there. Can you walk us through some of these personas?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's interesting. Some personas are more overt, in your face, bullying and harassment and stuff. That would be the abusive a-hole, for example. The ones that are more covert are silent, sneaky, and manipulative, like the gaslighter, like the unethical corrupter. Those ones are very behind the scenes, and it's tricky. The dishonest manipulator, too, they're constantly lying and playing games, and you feel like you're walking on eggshells.
Right. Tell us a bit about, too, the impact this has on employees, because I have to imagine not only is this, toxic in the workplace, but you carry it with you beyond the workplace, that you take it home, and it probably affects your personal relationships as well.
Oh, yes. I've heard so many horrible stories. It impacts mental health. It impacts your sleep. It impacts your physical health. There's research linking cardiovascular disease with toxic workplaces. It's far-reaching.
Do you recommend approaching a boss that meets this criteria, or is it kind of pointless?
They will not take that feedback, and a truly toxic boss will not be open to developing or have the self-insight to want to do so. They should have never been put in a people leadership role.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's flip the script, if we could, for a second on this. We're talking a lot about toxicity, but what about a healthy workplace? What are the trademarks or the traits of a healthy workplace?
I love that. As an organizational psychologist, we're all about how can workplaces be better places for human beings, because we spend most of our waking time working. And that's what I've been all about in my career, 25 years. How do we build better leadership? How do we have a workplace where people can bring their best selves, which means a place where you're growing, where you're challenged in a good way, where conflict is healthy. It's brought up and you're not scared to make a mistake. Those are hallmarks of a healthy workplace.
Yeah, when you, I guess as an employee overall, you feel supported, would that be a key indicator of a healthy workplace?
100%. You feel you can grow and evolve, and if you leave, it's not a bad thing. It means you're moving on to something different, but it's about human beings being at their best.
For bosses who are listening right now, what would be your advice to them?
People leadership is a position of great responsibility, and it's not easy. So if you're going to take that on, be ready to have a lifetime of growth, because you're always going to be learning as a leader. Even the best leaders in the world need to keep learning and growing. So it's not a one and done. It's not one course and you're done, one book and you're done. It's a lifelong process. It's hard work.
And I kind of equate that also to being a parent. I'm kind of, Chris and I are the bosses in the house, but...
Well, you think you're the bosses.
Well, we think we're the bosses. but my point was, what I was going to say is that we don't often get it right, and we're often wrong, and we really have to listen to our employees, the kids, to see what they're saying, and check in with them, and okay, we didn't do that, so we didn't do that very well. We can do better tomorrow.
Yeah.
And bosses are the same.
Yeah, you make mistakes as a boss. You're not perfect, but you're always progressing and learning and being the best boss for humans to work with.
All right.
That's it.
I wish I'd quit sooner. That's not a statement, sir. I'm very happily employed here. It's the title of this book right here. Laura, thank you so much. It's available now. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
All right, we're back after a break.